ready here. Hi and welcome to another Health and Wellbeing Cafe. It's such an exciting night. We're ready to celebrate. There's lots of recognition that's going to happen tonight. We're waiting for a few of our guests to arrive, but I'm going to get started. So welcome here. And you wouldn't believe, but I never have luck with the cursor. I am so excited that you are here with me this evening. So just to let you know, just a bit of etiquette. I am recording for those who are unable to make it. I do post this up onto YouTube. So if you're not comfortable with your image being on the camera, then please feel free to take your camera off. If you don't mind keeping yourself on mute, but there is interaction built into the evening as well. So there'll be lots of time for us to chatter. There's also going to be time for questions. We've got Joanna here who's going to be giving us a talk, so please ask questions in the chat and also at the end of her talk, and we'll be online until around 9 o'clock. So I am expecting a performance at this stage. And she's saying, I thought it was 8 p.m, which is a little bit odd because all of my messages, including the one inside the chat, say 7:30. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for Giselle to appear online, and we're going to skip past that part. So let me just welcome the wonderful women who are already on the call with us. I just want to check in with you. I know Jackie and Elka, it's your first time, and Joanna, your first time here at the Health and Wellbeing Cafe. So actually, we're all good friends. We actually do know each other. So it's great that you've come on tonight to support the session. But I just wanted to find out your expectation about the call. So if you don't mind giving me some thoughts as to why you are here this evening, it would be brilliant to hear from you, please.
Well, I'll go. So for me, I'm looking forward to sharing some things and hoping that some people kind of go, oh, well, that's a good idea. I could change that for that. And also to just to see, I love learning. I love absorbing. Like, every day is a school day. So I think that I'm bound to pick up something new. I love listening to these kind of things. So that's my take for this evening.
Thank you so much. And I think Jackie wanted to say something. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, yeah, no, I didn't particularly want to, but I will do anyway. Yeah, I know Jo and Elka are lovely ladies, and I'm looking forward to hearing Jo's talk because she's a very clever lady. So I'm looking forward to learning stuff tonight, and I don't know if I'll have anything to contribute, but if I do, that would be really lovely as well.
Oh, thank you. It's great to have you here. And we have somebody else. Hi, Rabina. I know it's your first time on the call. So just to let you know, I am recording. So I know you've got your camera off now. If you're comfortable having your camera off, that's no problem. But if you are comfortable sharing with us, we're just checking in about expectations for the evening. So what's motivated you to come on the call tonight, please?
I was curious what the Wellbeing Cafe is all about. I've also been invited to be a guest contributor in a couple of months' time, so I thought I'd better get on it and see what it's all about and meet a few of you lovely people already. So every day is a school day, applies to me as well, certainly when it comes to well-being.
Fantastic. And do you know what's so phenomenal is Elka, Joanna and Jackie, you are both very well known within the community that I participate in for your health and well-being tips. So I'm really excited to have you here on the call. And we have Rabina. Are you comfortable saying a few words, Rabina? It's great to have you here. Oh, you're on mute. It's okay, I got caught out as well. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, just a few words. I was also curious, and I just wanted to know, I'm in health coaching, and just want to know what everybody else can add to my knowledge.
Oh, well, you're in the right place. Like I said, there's lots of experts in the industry. So
Brilliant,
you're very welcome. Okay, and we also have Adelidola. I hope I was pronounced your name correctly. Apologies if I haven't. You're very welcome. Great to have you here.
Oh, hi.
Hi. How do I pronounce your name?
It's Adidola.
Adidola. Okay,
Yeah,
lovely.
Adidola.
Great to have you here. All right. So definitely Rabina and Adidola, it's the first time that we're connecting, so I will introduce myself to you properly. My name is Vanessa. I'm a lifestyle coach for mums, and what I am doing is supporting women to step into a positive pathway with your nutrition, your well-being, and also your self-love. So this is an event that I host at the end of every month. It always happens on the last Thursday of the month, and we have a lot of fun. And I can see one of my regular women, Cleo, coming onto the call now. So we do have a lot of fun here. So welcome. All right, so just want to set out my vision really. As I said, I support mums, and I have a vision to empower and support women. And I do that in multiple ways, which I won't go into now, but I said this last month. I can't update this particular photograph in the middle yet, but as you can see, they're like little babies. Now, that photograph's quite old. Cleo's just coming onto the call. Hi, Cleo. Cleo didn't want to be in the photograph that day, but her son's in the middle pram and my son's there, and they're not that small anymore. My son's actually going to be 3 years old on Tuesday. So it's been wonderful to be around the little ones. But as you know, we've all lived through 2 years with social distancing and things like that. So those type of activities were put on hold. But actually coming up in June, I will be back in the community doing Zumbini, which is a fantastic musical experience for little ones aged 0 to 4 and their caregivers. So I'm so excited about that. Now, as well as working locally, I have a vision to make an impact to women and little ones around the world. And in particular, I'm connected to a charity that's based in Nottingham, but the man who set it up, he does a lot of work in the Gambia. So he set up a charity called Aid to the Gambia. And I'm also a member of Herbalife Global Nutrition, and Herbalife has our own nutrition foundation. So for those of you who paid for your ticket tonight, as I said, £2 from your ticket will actually be going to the charity. So I'm going to be donating to Aid to Gambia, and next month I'll move on to the Herbalife Family Foundation. And we have Giselle with us as well now, so that's great. Hi, Giselle. All right, so we do have an opportunity on the call, and this is why I said, yes, please put yourself on mute, but I like it to be interactive because I really like us to just take time. You know, we're very busy women. I don't know for the new women on the call if you've got families or, you know, what your situation's like, but for me, I am busy, but reflection is so important, particularly when it comes to our self-care. So I really want to hear from anyone who wants to start us off and just give us a little idea about your health highlights for the month of March, please. Does anybody want to share anything with us, please? Elka, I know you've got a fantastic story. I can see your face. Come on, let's celebrate you.
I don't know what you mean by that. I'm generally a health freak, so I live a healthy, I eat a healthy diet usually. I'm sporty. Yeah, I don't know what you expect at this point.
I was talking about I don't know if it was a marathon or what you were doing in Portugal. Was it at the end of February? Was that not the beginning of March?
That was the Masters Championships in athletics. Masters is anyone over 35 can take part in competitions and compete in their age category. So I'm 59, so I competed in running, in cross-country running and 3K on the track with other people, with other women 55 to 59 years old. Of course, I wouldn't win against 20-year-olds or so. And I came away with a silver medal. So yeah, I'm proud of that. I didn't expect it because I was injured before, and I just enjoyed it. It's so nice to be back after 2 years of all the events cancelled or postponed. It was just lovely to be back in the game.
Fantastic. Well done, Elka. Okay, who else have we got on the line? You know, you might not have been entering athletics as Elka did, but, you know, just give us a snippet of your healthy, active lifestyle. Let us know what's gone well for you in the month of March, please. And if nobody's got their, oh, here's Jackie. Go on, Jackie. Let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, I also mentioned on another meeting this week that I love the lighter mornings because I do my exercise in the morning as early as I can. And when I go out into the woods that surround us, as it gets into winter, I have to go a little bit later because going into the woods when it's dark is not so nice. So I do exercise at home, but being able to get out early mornings into woods, into nature, lots earlier, I'm absolutely loving that. Just breathing in that really fresh air, and it's lovely. And I do a mixture of yoga, movement with weights, and going out into the woods to do a little bit of jogging and walking as well. So all around, I just really love it.
Fantastic. Making most of the season as it's changing. Well done, Jackie. So, Cleo, you've got your mic off, and I know you've had some fantastic wins in March. Do you want to give us a snippet of your achievement, your healthy, active lifestyle in March, please?
I would say that I started doing the 10-day marathon, which is really just about accountability. So it's another group that Vanessa's involved in, and Katrina, and it's where we really kind of support each other in making healthy choices. And part of that is that we do get weighed, but we don't focus on weight. We just focus really on the health side of benefits. But it really gives us that accountability through that 10 days, really to look at our progress and look at what we're doing for that day. And that accountability really has helped me. And also through March, I've been a water buddy with Joanna as well. And again, just having that person to actually stand off every day and to encourage each other has been a really big help. So me and Joanna we're quite active in doing that. Not so much recently, but we've been quite active. And it has helped actually, spur each other on to say, come on now. If we've not drunk so much, let's drink an extra glass today. And it's really encouraged us both to up our intake in water. So that's been really good.
Oh, do you know what? It's been incredible, Cleo. Well done to you and Joanna. As you know, I'm part of that little accountability group. I don't participate, but I love to check in and see your conversation and your encouragement. So congratulations. And also for what you've done, your achievements during the 10-day marathon. So fantastic. Well done. All right. So I just want to hear from anyone who hasn't spoken yet, but you're feeling, actually, I want to put a little bit more focus on a particular area of my health or your well-being during the month of April. Do you mind just, if it's okay, just sharing some thoughts with us, please? Hi, Rubina.
Hi. I just wanted to say that we've got a month of Ramadan starting in 2-3 days. And I just want to know, how can I've done 5K, like run, walk thing with Race for Life. But that was back in, long time ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, and now I've come to a stage where I just find it very hard to get back into it. And now that Ramadan is coming, it's going to be even more harder. So I will try to start now that the mornings are lighter. I could start that walking and Yeah, I'm just a bit.
No, honestly, thank you so much for sharing, Rubina, and thank you also for reminding me about Ramadan coming through. We have Jo, she's not here yet. I don't know if she's just arrived, someone's just arrived, but there is a woman in my community who actually does take part in Ramadan as well. And I know a lot of women of Muslim faith who actually, they still work around their fasting and everything that you do during Ramadan and get that balance. So if you wanted to have a conversation with me after the meeting, then I would love to speak with you and maybe give you some ideas there.
Brilliant.
Okay, so Giselle, we have you. If you want to talk now, that's great. And then I think what we're going to do is go to your first song as well, please. And we cannot see you, my dear.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out how to turn everything on. So at the moment, I can't see myself either. So
maybe
at the moment,
step back.
I will have I will be singing on my phone.
Okay, no worries.
So yeah, I've got that set up, so I'll need to just check and see, because I had myself in the screen a moment ago, but we will see that I'm still in there. I just wanted to share that in March I was doing more like meditating and doing my exercises more regularly, and then for April, either after my birthday, which is at the weekend, or else after Easter, I'm planning to cut out refined white sugar, refined white flour, and dairy.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I don't call myself a vegan, but I don't eat a lot of dairy. I mean, do I actually? No, it's just like a little tiny bit. But I just don't want that label. But
for me, it's mostly halloumi.
Oh,
that's
maybe a good
that's
idea.
The main thing. And my cat wants to be known, of course.
Oh,
so
gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. Well, Giselle, have I got a question? Okay, so we've got yeah, I will take that. I will take it down as well. I just keep the screen on, Elka, because otherwise I lose my thread of where I'm supposed to be. I cover quite a few things, but what I'm going to do is, Giselle, are you ready for us at all?
Fairly, although Paloma might have to get kicked out of the room because she keeps trying to climb on me.
Okay. Well, so you get set up, and then what I'll do is I'll just let everybody know who's on the call with us tonight what to expect. So I've already said my welcome. We're going to hear from Giselle, and then I'm just going to give you, it's actually some thoughts that I've had around personal development throughout the month. So in my Facebook community, I do a daily show. It's called Grand Rising with Vanessa. And what I've decided to do this month is really kind of highlight some of the top points that I've shared during the shows. But I thought, actually, we need to hear those points again. So if you've been following me, then there's nothing wrong with, listening to these messages again. And then we're going to have Joanna Hart with, she's already here, and she's going to give us a talk on how happy are your hormones. She uses a different word. I've really sort of I've done the really simple version, but she's going to tell us how we can basically get rid of the chemicals in our home, and how chemicals that we're using to clean our home and our office do have an impact on our life and our health. Then we'll take a short break, and then afterwards I have got some recognition. So I'm hoping that the other women will be on the call. If not, they will be able to watch the replay there. And then after the recognition, you will have a chance to go into small discussion rooms. So that part won't be recorded. You will be in small discussion groups, and you will talk about emotional fitness. And that gives you an opportunity to network. And then when you come back, there will be a raffle. So make sure you stay with me on the call. And then to end, I will tell you about some key dates for your diary. All right. So I think
you're on mute, Vanessa.
I suddenly lost my audio.
I put myself on mute. I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear. So I did say, I think Giselle will be is ready for us now.
Nearly. I think I'm going to have to come off of the iPad so that I can play the backing track. So because it won't play while I'm on Zoom. It's acting like I'm not connected Bluetooth. So so I'm going, can you see me on the...
I can see both of you. I can see like the top of your head here, and then I can see you. In fact, it's probably an idea to turn one of the videos off, I would say.
Yeah,
Giselle.
I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to leave this one, and then I'll come back onto my iPad until I sing again. So,
but I would turn one of your videos off because it's a little
No,
bit...
I'm literally going to leave it. So I'm going to leave this. Hold on.
Ah, I don't know what happened, but something happened. Yeah. So we've only got one of Giselle now.
Vanessa, can I just say, I'm going to disappear for 5 minutes. I've got prayer time now.
Oh, yeah, no problem, Abina. We'll still be here.
All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you in a minute. Bye-bye, darling. You're on mute now, Giselle.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant.
So let me put Giselle, I'm going to put the view onto Giselle now for the recording so we can see you. And I'm putting myself on mute.
And I will start just a second. Okay, here we go. Chime in if anything goes wrong. So, because I've not tested this out. It took a long, hard road to take me where I go. I had no clear idea. I didn't know. I had nothing I could see to magnify the light in me, ignite my heart to believe that love has set me free. I'm done chasing after rainbows, and I'm done chasing after dreams, and I'm done chasing after things to define me, and I'm just happy to be me. I feel the love, I feel the love, I feel the love, I feel the, I feel the love, I feel the love, I feel the love, I feel the love. With every step I take, one step at a time, I build and I create the life I choose. I may. Why should I hesitate? I had nothing I could see to magnify the light in me. I have my soul. My heart is in. My hands are clean, no chains on me. I'm done chasing after rainbows, I'm done chasing after dreams. And I'm done chasing after things to define me. And I'm just happy to be me.
Fantastic. Well done, Giselle. So I think Giselle is gone to one of her other cameras.
It changes direction that the camera's looking and everything. I think I showed you my underwear drawer earlier.
I didn't notice. But that was brilliant. And you will be doing another song for us as well, won't you, Giselle?
Yeah, that will be a cappella, and it's one that, yeah, it's a special one, I think.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. And we have Jojo with us as well. So good evening, Jo. All right, so I'm going to, hi, darling. I'm going to go back to the presentation slides because there's many things that I will forget if I do not have it here as a prompt. So let's have a look. Oops, that's too soon. All right, so thank you so much, Giselle. Now, there's a little bit of personal development from me. Like I said, it's just really some thoughts of things that you might have heard if you were following the last episodes. What's happened with the screen? That's thrown me. Okay, let me put it back there. Okay, so yeah, if you've been following my daily lives, you might have heard this, but never mind. So what I wanted to say is just, these are some of the things that I've shared over the last month. So the first one is, you know, the topic for tonight for me is about celebration. Okay, and a bit later I'm going to be giving some recognition to the wonderful women that I've been working with. They don't know that, well, they know that now, but they didn't know that before they came on the call. And one of the things that I've said in my daily lives is, you know, we need to let go of our limiting beliefs. And I know that you may have heard that before, but we have to be mindful that there is an inner critic that kind of stays with all of us. Yeah. And there's times where you're trying to move forward and there's just like this critic that's saying, yes, but what about this and what about that? And that can really start to hold us back and stop us from really taking any form of action, because at the end of the day, things don't have to be perfect. It's just about making that start and stepping into your power. So I've said here, make time to reflect. So this is why, you know, we have the discussion at the beginning of the call. You'll be going into breakout rooms. It won't be reflection as such, but, you know, if you feel comfortable sharing, hopefully you will speak to each other. And what we do, or what we have to remember to do, is to appreciate ourselves and to really honor what we love about ourselves, okay? Because we're not perfect, but just step into that area of self-love and say, do you know what? You're doing really well, and I love you because of whatever the area may be. And as you're working through in your journey of personal development and self-growth, you will be discovering your authentic self. So once you connect with your authentic self, it will help you to actually live your life in flow. Another thing that I've shared this month is how we need to get organized. So this is being organized within our home environment. And Joanna will be talking to us about keeping things clean without chemicals, but be organized in your home. Be organized with your healthy eating plans. Be organized with your exercise routines. Be organized with your self-care schedules. So actually make sure you scheduled that in. And make sure that you've planned time for fun. So one of the online mentors that I've been following, she actually said that in your timetable, you should actually plot your fun time first. and then plot your responsibilities around that and all the other things that you want to do. And I will say, you know, after celebrating a birthday this week, I really had a lot of fun. And oh, here's Denise. I just thought of you.
Sorry, I'm late. Sorry.
Again, the vibration. But anyway, I really had a lot of fun. And I think it might have been on the call to Denise this morning when I was saying, you know, I didn't have a massive budget. In fact, I hardly circulated any money on my birthday, but I had a lot of fun, trust me. So you've got to factor in the fun time into your life. Just to end, big changes will come into your life if you are committed to making big decisions, all right? So the recognition that I will be giving out later on this evening is to actually show the women in the community that I am really honouring the decisions that they have made to make positive changes in their life. So that's just a snippet of some of the thoughts that I've shared this month. All right, so I believe, even without going to my presentation slides, because my memory is not that bad, that Joanna, it is time for us to hear from you and your top tips on how we can keep, or asking ourselves, how happy are our hormones? That's a bit of a mouthful. And if not, what we can do about it. Are you ready for us? Yeah?
No, right, you have to keep a timer on me because you know what I'm like. The last conversation we had, it just grew arms and legs and we went on for 8 hours, didn't we? Yes, so my name's Jo, and or Joanna is my Sunday name, of course, but I am just going to give you a little bit of rundown about myself. Some of you know me, some of you don't. So I used to be a nurse and a midwife, and then I went to Asia for 7 years, and I actually became unwell myself. And while I was a nurse and midwife, I was always very much into, you know, keeping it as natural as possible. Obviously, I was pharmaceutical trained and all the rest of it, but I still was very much about trying to keep things natural and trying to do things without drugs and all these other things. So anyway, we went to Asia. I had my 2 daughters, and after my second daughter, I just really felt crappy. I just felt crappy. I would have been 33 then, so I'd had my daughters quite close together. I'd basically been pregnant breastfeeding, pregnant miscarriage, all in about 3 years. So it was kind of full on, and I think my body was just like, so I think when you're older, it does take a little bit to kind of get back to base. And obviously that kind of, you know, being a bit older and everything, I didn't get back to base. Now, my gynecologist over in Kuala Lumpur said to me, you know, I had a few things going on. I had very heavy periods. I was quite grey looking, and my hair went quite thin, brittle nails, just lots of things going on, and I felt really horrible. And I went to see my gynecologist, and she turned around and said, guess, yes, it's quite normal after your second baby, you know, it could be that you're just a little bit depressed. Excuse me? It seems to be that this is the answer for everything these days. And I was like, I am not depressed. I said, I've got this going on, I've got this going on. How can it be depression? So obviously I left there and I was very disgruntled. And then a friend of mine, she gave me this book about anti-aging and functional medicine. Now I read this and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I searched their website and I happened to find a doctor who was just outside of Kuala Lumpur. And I drove 3 hours in a car by myself to go and find him. I got lost, I went to the wrong place. And basically, you know, I could have got lost and never found him again, who knows? But anyway, I finally arrived at this doctor's, and obviously I was really stressed and everything. And we had a chat and he said, well, we'll do your bloods. And he said, we'll just see where we get to. So 2 days later, he phoned me back and he says, you have got total adrenal fatigue. He says, your cortisol's in your boots, it's affecting your thyroid function, it's knocking off all your hormones. So we need to do a detox. And he said, and what I want you to do, the first things I want you to do is get rid of all your beauty products, and I want you to get rid of all your cleaning products. We're going to put you on a non-stimulant diet and use natural supplements. And I was just sitting there going, I hate cleaning. What about cleaning products? I just never thought about this. And we don't think about it because it's on TV, it's on the supermarket shelves. We don't really think about it. And even as a nurse and midwife, I didn't really think about cleaning products or beauty products having an impact on my hormones and everything. So, and this is like 15 years ago now, so it's a little while ago. So that was the start of my kind of journey of trying to get rid of toxins and things around my family and in my home. And we spend a lot of time in our home. And when I came back from Asia then, I was going to go back to midwifery, but my girls are quite young. And I ended up coming across this product called ENJO. And that's really kind of, I hate cleaning, but I love the concept of the fact that I could use this as a vehicle to try and, you know, educate or just raise awareness to the impact that these chemicals have. Now, I want you all to think about when you were little and at school, how many in your class do you remember with asthma, eczema, or allergies or anything like that? How many do you remember when we were little? Not that many? One or two? There was an exception, wasn't it? It was around, but it was an exception. But now if you think about it in our children's classrooms, you know, our young children's now, we have got maybe a third to half of the class will have one or both of these conditions. And if you think about what kind of products, so you can put your mics on in a minute, for a minute, and tell me what kind of products do you remember your mum using when you were little? What kind of products really jump out at you? I'm just trying to bring up the chat. What was that? Sorry, Eco. There's some other products around now, but when you were younger, what kind of things do you remember your mum using? Things like bicarb maybe, or
Dettol.
Dettol, yeah,
Johnson and Johnson, like powder.
Yeah, Dettol and TCP. What about Ajax?
I was just going to say.
Oh yeah, I remember Ajax.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it was all powders and liquids, wasn't it? And there was a very small selection. So, you know, most of it was elbow grease and a bit of soap and hard scrubbing, right? That's what my mum did, and it was limited products. But now you walk into the supermarket and it is aisles of the stuff, and we've got antibac this, antibac. Don't talk to me about antibacterials. We're going to have a conversation about those. But we've just got, you know, there's about 20 different varieties of about 50,000 chemicals. There's a whole, you know, big aisle in your supermarkets. So how do we get there? Yes, Vim as well. Vim, I always remember that, you know, getting in the bath and you could tell your mum had cleaned it and you'd be feeling it on your bum cheeks in the bath. You know, so Vim was always another one. So I used to use that, leave a residue. So yes, if you look at it now, we've got a huge volume of chemicals. You know, we're paranoid about bacteria and germs too. And like I say, we're going to speak about them. Well, I am a really antibacterial person. And I grew up on a farm, and so we used to, you know, we're outside, we'd be sort of cleaning out of the stables and all the rest of it, and I'd be eating sandwiches at the same time. We were not germ phobic, but gradually we've kind of been programmed now to actually be germ phobic and scared of our toilets and scared of not washing our hands and everything. And to be fair, it has got a lot worse this last couple of years too. But again, you know, we're kind of attacking ourselves all the time. So that is a little bit of kind of why I do what I do. So like I say, ENJO is cleaning products, but and a couple of ladies here use it. But it's just about trying to educate people. So we're going to go through a few little things on a slideshow. Am I able to share, Vanessa? Oh, Vanessa!
Yeah, no, I am here. Don't worry, I'm just doing something.
That's
Yeah,
right.
of
No,
course you can share. I would need to.
You've got to, yeah,
make multiple. I think it's going to work. But don't worry, I'm setting up the raffle, but I just don't.
That's okay. Don't worry. I knew you'd be doing something. It's fine. I just need to be able to share a screen. If you make me host or something, I'll hand it back to you at the end.
Has it not worked? I pressed the button that said.
All right, there it is. It's come up now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So we're just going to go and we'll look at this. Right. So is the air we breathe as healthy as we believe? Let me just do some presentation. Who just laughed? What are you laughing at as well? I heard a little chuckle. Right, okay, so is the air we breathe as healthy as we believe? Now, we kind of like think we spend a lot of time in our homes, and I bet some of you have got plug-in air fresheners, or you've got a little, you know, you spray a bit of Febreze, all these kind of things around your home, and that means that you've permanently got toxins in your house. So we're going to talk about a few little changes that you can make and why we're going to do it. So this, oh, I'm just trying to get my cursor to move. Oh, I've got a spinning wheel now, that's handy. Let's just move that as well. Okay, where's my present mode? I need to move all of you lovely ladies. There we go. Right, I think it's going to start with a presentation now. Come on. There we go. All right, should be loading now. Dun, dun, dun. I'm not sure it's going to work. There we go. Right. Okay. So who knows about the endocrine system? Hands up. Have you heard about the endocrine system before? Yeah. So our endocrine system is probably one of the most complex systems in our bodies. You know, we've got our respiratory system, our pulmonary system, cardiac system, but the endocrine system is just really, really complex. And it's like a giant bowl of spaghetti because everything is connected to everything. So, you know, a lot of stress can knock off your adrenals, which can knock off your thyroid because it sends mixed messages to your pituitary and your hypothalamus. So you might underproduce, overproduce. And so then that has a knock-on effect on fertility and all these things. So it's like a giant bowl of spaghetti. So things like your cleaning products, they're full of xenoestrogens, which can block receptor sites in cells and things. So there's lots of reasons why we should get rid of a lot of the toxins in our home. But it's a very complex system. So your endocrine system is, just to give you a little overview. So it's your thyroid, your thymus, pancreas, adrenal glands, your testes or ovaries, pineal gland, hypothalamus and pituitary gland. And we all know about our pineal gland. It's kind of like our third eye. And I don't know whether a lot of you are aware of things like fluoride and all these other things that can kind of calcify the pineal gland. So again, lots of things that we can kind of detox in our life. Right now I'm going to try and move. I'm going to put you back up the side now. I'm going to switch on to the next one. So things that have endocrine disrupting chemicals, that's what we call them. And our homes are full of them. So you've got your cleaning products, but there's also things like your Scotch guarding on your carpets and your furniture when you buy them. Metals that are in our drinking water, things that are like you might touch, that you're rubbing your hands on, you can absorb through your skin as well. Pharmaceuticals, we know that they've got a lot of nasty things in them as well as things that do good. Pesticides, when I lived in Asia, I was obsessed with mosquito repellent and didn't for 1 minute think that that is a neurotoxin and how it actually killed mosquitoes and that, but we're breathing that in. So when my tongue was tingly and numb, I thought, great, that's going to kill the mosquitoes, never thinking about it being a neurotoxin. But you know, this is just, again, the programming. I assumed it was on the shelf and it was okay. So again, we don't question it.
Has Joanne frozen?
She appears to have.
Yeah. Okay, so she may she may just jump back in with the conversation where she left it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to carry on with this presentation because I'm learning too. Let me just going to write her a message. Have we lost Jo? I think we have. This is an interesting evening for technical things, isn't it? Okay, so based on what Jo said, if you have any questions or if you just want to share your thoughts on what Jo said right now, just to keep that conversation going, please. Elka's got her mic off.
Yeah, I think it is Jackie here. Hi, Vanessa. Yeah, I think it's really, really interesting when we think back to how naive we were, expecting that a tingling tongue is okay, or, you know, when we smell something that we've sprayed or we've got plugged in, we're smelling it back then. I mean, we realise more now, but we didn't realise that we're breathing that into our lungs. It's got to be something making that smell that hasn't come from a flower or a root or been squeezed out of something gorgeous. It's coming out of something electric or, you know, a spray, a can or something. Aren't we daft? Or weren't we? Weren't we daft? You just
Hi.
Jackie was just filling in for us then, Jo.
Was she talking about fragrance?
She was.
Yeah, they see it. We're like a tag team, Jackie.
Fantastic.
Like a tag team. Right,
so
sorry, girls.
You carry on when you're ready. No problems.
Right, well, I'm just going to, so fragrance is one of these things that we kind of think it sounds like a lovely thing, but actually a lot of them are not so good. Right, I'm just waiting for my slideshow presentation to load again. I don't think my laptop liked it when I tried to do a slideshow. That was the problem. So, And I think Jackie, she must be telepathic because look what my next slide is. Hang on. So we're just gonna, this is a little quote from a magazine called EcoWatch, and it says here there are around 84,000 chemicals on the market, and we come into contact with many of them every single day. And if that isn't enough to cause concern, the shocking fact is that only about 1% of them have been studied for safety. And also as women, I think the last thing that I read, by the time we put on our makeup, had a shower, done our shampoos and all the rest of it, we've probably come into contact with just about 20,000 chemicals before we've had breakfast, if you're not a little bit more aware of the choices you're making, that is. So I'm not going to do a slideshow because I think my laptop wasn't very happy. So chemical fragrances pollute the air, the water, the ecosystem, and cause serious harms to pets, wildlife, and us humans. So you can see in this wheel here, like there's probably things you maybe haven't thought about, but fabric softener, it's one of my top 5 hates. You've got hairspray, shampoo, hair gels, you have got deodorants, pet products, antibacterials, sunscreen, cosmetics. Again, a lot of our cosmetics, the ones that have all the anti-aging stuff in it, a lot of them have got xenoestrogens and all the rest of it as well. So that causes hormone imbalance as well. So there's lots of them. Fragrance and perfumes, they're not all, you know, we buy a nice perfume and we assume that it must be with natural ingredients, but there's a lot of things that are not natural in them. So if you read this little bit at the bottom here, scientific research links fragrance ingredients to diabetes, obesity, thyroid disease, low sperm count, early puberty, cancer, neurotoxic effects, asthma, migraines, allergies, and mild to life-threatening symptoms in people with chemical injury. Now, this is an interesting fact. I don't know whether you ever thought about this, but if you were to go into a factory where they make all our cleaning products and maybe our beauty products and everything too, they would probably have all these barrels and all these, you know, tubs that are all labeled with warnings to the employees about that they might cause respiratory damage, cancer, might cause blindness, might cause burns, all of these things. But when they're mixed up and put into our products that go on the shelf, we're not actually given that information, and they don't actually have to tell us. It's only up to 10% of the ingredients that they are obliged to write on the bottle, especially with your cleaning products. So we don't actually know the full contents of what is in our products. So it's a little bit scary, isn't it? So I'll just try this one. Oh, come back here. So yes, look at them. Another big thing that I really like to talk about is sanitary products. Now, you know, whether it's for you, whether it's for your daughter, whether it's for your friends, whatever, I'm a really big advocate for trying to move people into like to moon cups and to reusable sanitary products. If you knew what was in a tampon, you would not put them in your vaginas. It's just like, and the same with your panty liners and everything. They are so full of bleaches, herbicides, fragrances and everything, you know, and it's quite a personal, intimate space that you're putting that in with a highly absorbent kind of surrounding. So yeah, so feminine hygiene products, definitely something that I would look at. And nappies, I never thought about nappies. I use them, I use wipes too, until I thought about what you could clean with a baby wipe. When you think about what you can clean, when you take a baby wipe and you can clean off like stains out your carpet, you can take, you know, clean leather, you can take bugs off your windscreen. And then I thought to myself, why am I putting that on my daughter's skin? Because when you think about it, they're quite powerful, aren't they? So fragrance, there we are, links nicely into what Jackie was telling you. So fragrance is in a lot of your products. So don't be misled by the fact that fragrance sounds really nice and everything, or parfum, because they tend to be synthetic. So look out for that on your labels, and you can see them there, all the side effects. Now, antibacterials, hands up, who uses antibacterial products? Okay, so we are a walking blob of bacteria, okay? We are full of it. We are just a walking blob of bacteria. So if you think about it, if we're doing antibacterial things all the time, then we're just really actually attacking ourselves. Now, think about this. If you were to take a bottle of antibacterial spray or liquid, would you go and pour it in a pond? Hands up, anybody going to do that? There. So you wouldn't do that because it would kill everything in the pond, and it would have a really bad environmental effect. But would you also take a sip of it every day? No. But when you think about it, when you're spraying these things or wiping them on the surfaces and prepping food on it, you're ingesting quite a nasty amount of it. And we are full of bacteria, and your gut flora is one of your first line defense. This is where your first part of your immune system is going to fight off any infections or viruses or bugs, whatever. And if your gut flora is not in balance, then it can't do its job effectively. So if you're spraying this stuff around, or you're wiping your children's like high chairs and you're putting finger food and stuff on, you're actually kind of helping to kind of ingest all this stuff. So I really, really would encourage you to move away from them. And please stop putting antibacterial gel and stuff on your hands. Your skin is like your container, right? If you unzipped it, all your bits would fall out. Your skin is your container, and it protects you from so many things. It also is your thermostat, it's your sensory organ, it has so many functions. And again, we've got microbiota on our skin, and it's there to help protect you and fight disease and infections as well. But again, if you're using antibacterials all the time, you're upsetting that balance, and your skin can't do as good a job. So if you want more information, I can talk loads about this. So yes, here's your little antibacterials. Like it says, acts as an endocrine disruptor. It makes your skin dry. It makes you more prone to allergies, damages fetal development, not effective against bacteria, even though it says it's antibacterial, and leads to hormone imbalances. And the other thing too is, we've just spoke about putting it down your plug holes. If you're washing this down your sinks, it's getting out into the environment, and your antibacterials are actually having a massive environmental impact. So I really would encourage you to move away from them. Just get a normal soap, wash your hands properly, and rinse in water. Just move away from antibacterial soaps. Now, one of the biggest ingredients in antibacterials is called Triclosan. Now, Triclosan is actually carcinogenic, which means it can actually cause cancer. So you find it in soaps, it's even in toothpaste. Did you know that? Triclosan is in toothpaste. So when you're brushing your teeth, it really gets into mucosa. So again, try and find a natural toothpaste and a fluoride-free one if you can. It's in cosmetics, actually in some toys. You'll find it in like the stuffing, they'll spray like stuffing in children's teddies and stuff with it, because it stops them going moldy. So your kids go into bed, it can be on mattresses. So again, you can be sleeping in it. And is it, well, I'll come back, I think it's bromide, it's in your mattresses too, which actually really upsets thyroid function. But anyway, come back to that one. So yes, there's lots of them. So get rid of your antibacterials. They really are not good for you. So we're going to go and have a little look now at some other bits and pieces. So we're going to look at some of the things you could swap out in your home. And I'm just going to let you listen before I change my presentation, because I've got two of them. I'm just going to move to some different slides. Fabric conditioner. Hands up, who uses fabric conditioner?
I do.
I can't see any hands. How many hands went up? No, not too many. So fabric conditioner, what you do, right. Fabric conditioner, I know it makes your clothes soft and it makes everything smell nice, but it really is not a nice product. So please try and move away from it if you can. You can actually put vinegar in your washing machine in where your fabric conditioner goes, and it will soften your clothes. Not quite to the extent the softener does, but it changes the pH of the water and it will soften your clothes. But look at all these lovely ingredients that's in your fabric conditioners. I can put a post of this into the group so you can actually read it. But basically, a lot of them absorb through your skin and they attack your central nervous system. So it's really not nice stuff. So if you can move away from fabric conditioners, I would highly recommend it. I know you're just like trying to, but right, so small changes. I'm just going to move to this now. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'm just loading it up. So it's a few little things that you can change out. And I think I always say to people, these small changes can make a big impact, because if we all do small changes, then collectively it becomes a big thing. So let me just have a little look here. I'm going to just wait for it to load. So these are some of your reference guides to have a look at. Now, your good ones, I think if I remember, are 2, 4, and 6 are the better ones. Or is it 7? I can't remember if it's 7. No, 2, 4, and 6 I think it is. But this one, I'll put this little photo in the group as well, but it just tells you what the plastics in your home, which ones you should avoid. And a lot of them are in our plastic bottles, water bottles. You know, you have to be really careful which ones you buy as well, but I'll pop that one in the group as well. Cotton wool. Now, how many of you use cotton wool? So this is a really good little interesting stat. So cotton wool, oh, I'm trying to move these photos so I can move it. So cotton wool, a lot of us use them for our makeup, but to remove makeup and things. So we might use them for babies and bits if you've got young kids. But this is an interesting stat. So cotton wool, it may be a renewable source, But unlike oil and therefore plastic, did you know that it can take up to 20,000 litres of water to produce 1 kilogram of cotton? That's crazy, isn't it? 20,000 litres per kilo of cotton. 1 kilogram of cotton is about the amount needed to make a t-shirt, or about 15 to 20 packs of cotton rounds. So that's a lot of water, isn't it? So yeah, it says all that water has to come from somewhere, which often means huge amounts of environmental degradation while they, move the water to a different area. So water usage, non-organic cotton uses vast amounts of chemicals, pesticides and fertilizers, which are detrimental to humans and wildlife. Using pesticides depletes the soil, pollutes the local waterways, and can have horrific health impacts. So cotton wool, it's not as good as you think. I know it's natural, it's maybe not so bad on your skin and everything, but yes, so it also goes through bleaching and things as well. So I do have an alternative for me, but this is not a sales pitch. We do have some fantastic skincare fibres that you can just wash, and you can take all your makeup bits off with water. But again, it just shows as an alternative, or even if you have a face cloth or something you use, it's better than using cotton wool. So some other things, we spoke about moon cups. I don't know if any of you have had that conversation or even looked into them, but this is a moon cup. You get different sizes, different makes. So sometimes you might have to there are questionnaires that you can do that can help you find one that's better for you, depending on your flow, depending on whether you have a retroverted uterus, whatever. There's lots of things you can have a look at there. So you can do what they're called a moon cup questionnaire, so you can find the right fit. Reusable sanitary products, I've been using them for years, and my daughters are now 16 and nearly 18, and that's all they've ever used are moon cups and reusable sanitary products. No, sassy, go away. Then you've got your diapers, obviously reusable nappies, and then you can also get the cloths. There's lots of baby wipes that you can use that are just washable and reusable. Now, laundry, anybody use an EcoEgg? Anybody tried EcoEggs? Yeah, so EcoEggs, I use them for a bit, and I think they're really, really good, except I've always had to try and do something else in my whites. So they work, and they do about 700 washes or something. So it's quite a lot you get from one EcoEgg, and it just works with oxygen and sort of moving things around in the washing machine to sort of oxygenate the dirt out, which is quite a good process. But I recently just bought soap nuts. Has anyone tried soap nuts? Yeah, what did you think of them, Elka?
Yeah, I wasn't 100% convinced. Let's
okay.
take it that way.
So I made some, so I boiled some up, and you can use the sort of a handful of nuts, I guess it is. You can use it about 4 times. So I've just done my first batch. And I think for all your wear once, freshen up clothes, it's really good. And again, it's just the whites, isn't it? So I try a little bit of calcium dissolver. I'm going to do that and just try some different things for the whites. But soap nuts are really interesting. Again, for as far as the environment goes, so much better. But these are all little things that I'm just going to stop sharing now. So these are all little things that you can do that can just kind of change out. You've got Jackie here who does tropics. So again, changing out your makeup products is a really good way to, because your skin is your major organ. And I don't use shower gel because we have these are our skincare fibers, if you like. So I just use that and just wash with water. I don't use any shower gel. Take all my makeup off as well. Jackie's got great products. And there are lots of different options. There's a brand called Cheeky Wipes that do reusable baby wipes that you can put in the wash machine. They do reusable sanitary products. So there's lots of different options that you can just change these things. And I think, I know we've grown up in this life of convenience. And so everything is a buy and throw, isn't it? We buy it and we throw it out. But there's something to be said, for going back to the way that our mums and our grandmothers did things, because that was much kinder to the environment, it's much kinder to our skin, it was much better for our health, and we were a lot more resilient. I think we've just become a population of sneezy, snotty, itchy, scratchy kind of people, haven't we? Because of all the products we've kind of been exposing ourselves to. And it's just because we are totally bombarded with marketing and consumerism. And on top of all these things, having a healthy diet, maybe taking time out for you, thinking about the exercise and getting out in nature and doing grounding and all these other things, this is a part of it too, about what you're surrounding yourself with in your home, because we spend a lot of time. We sleep in we're in our bedrooms for 7-8 hours a night. Another top tip for your bedrooms, get all your electrical equipment out of your bedroom. Your bedroom is for sleeping. If you have things like TVs on standby, or you have your mobile phones in there, or you have like electric, you know, the electric clocks, they emit like a magnetic frequency that actually isn't really good for your brainwave pattern, and you find it affects your sleep and stuff. So get all the electrics out of your room, charge your phone in the hallway or whatever, and try and get your kids to get all the devices out too, because it does have an impact on your endocrine system too. It mucks up your circadian rhythm, so your awake and sleep pattern. Honestly, I could sit and talk about loads more stuff. Like I'm just like this, like I'm going to spew all over you. But there's loads of other stuff. So anyway, I hope that was a little bit of interesting. We just got a few bits out of that. God, I like to say there's so much more I could like.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you, Joanna. I mean,
you are welcome.
I always say I record the sessions obviously for the replay, but I love to watch these sessions again, because when I'm listening in this environment, I'm prepping the raffles, so I'm listening but I'm not taking active notes, so I'll definitely be taking notes. One thing that you said for me, which I'm like, oh, I can do something about that straight away, is the what did you say, not disposable, the reusable sanitary towels. I actually watched something on YouTube of a woman who was actually making them, I think in an African country, I can't remember which one, but it became a source of income for her and some of the village women. So that was a brilliant idea. So if you've got any links that you'd like to share, even if you haven't got them now, I can always put them into my newsletter to those who were on this call. You know, I would definitely be doing that. I love the sound of that.
I mean, when I first started, there weren't very many companies that did them. Cheeky Wipes is one of the first, but I think that it's one of these other things that's become really quite popular. So there's a lot to choose from out there. And I've just found it's a good brand, you know, so I haven't tried any others because that's the ones I had. But yeah, you know, there's lots to choose from. So just go and Google reusable sanitary pads and you'll be like, my God, there's loads.
There's loads. Giselle had her hand up during your talk, so I don't know if she had a question for you. Do you have a question, Giselle?
Yeah, I did. It was about the fabric softener. So even like using EcoWatch is really bad, or what?
Right. So the thing, so think about, you've got EcoWatch and you have Method. That might be another product you've heard of that were kind of like kinder alternatives to chemicals, but they're still chemicals. Now, I used to think, you know, that that's okay, you know, that's a good step in the right direction, but they have been bought over by SL Johnson. So they've now just become part of a huge conglomerate, and SL Johnson test on animals, and they can change products and put things in and out without even telling you. So they're not products that I will recommend anymore. And this is just the whole thing, isn't it? You have these small companies that try and do a better thing. And because they're seen as competition, they then get offered a stupid amount of money and get bought over just so that they can, you know, control the opposition. So you find that a lot. But yeah, so no, and now I'm just like, no, don't buy EcoWatch Method just because everything else they stand for. And I don't know how much all the products have changed. I actually recently had a customer who was using Method, and all of a sudden she became allergic to the same product she'd been using. And I said, well, that's probably because they've changed an ingredient and they don't have to tell you. They're not obliged to tell you. So
I feel like our government is failing us by allowing these things to go on.
Well, it's all about money. That's it. They don't care. It's all about money. So,
and we're bombarded. I mean, you know, like I go to the doctors and some of the receptionists are like literally trying to force me to use the hand sanitizer. And I find that really upsetting.
I mean, a lot of people are allergic and they have got, you know, a horrible content. I mean, they've got high alcohol content anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no. Everything else that's in it, and they're not good. I mean, if you've seen pictures of children's hands at school or breaking down, that actually makes you more open to infection. If you've got cracked and dry hands, you're actually open to infection. So yeah, I don't like them anyway.
Brilliant. Well, if it's just very, very quick, Elka, because we're running over time now. Is it a quick question?
No, I just want to come back to the softener. What did you say about the vinegar?
All right. So
I have abandoned fabrics. I don't think I ever used it. I have a dryer. Now with the electricity prices going up, you know, we discussed this and we said, you know, we are no longer using the dryer, you know, only in very few cases. So I want my towels to be fluffy for my clients. So
well, so what I do, Elka, what I do with my towels is I do dry them, and dryer for 5-10 minutes to fluff them up. But vinegar, if you put vinegar, like sort of like an egg cup full of vinegar into where you put your just softener in your washing machine, it just changes the pH and it just softens your clothes. It won't make them as soft as fabric conditioner, obviously, but it does soften them, just makes them
So
less.
I have an eco egg, I put that in, and then the vinegar, do I put it in where the washing powder would normally go in?
Where the softener would go, yeah. Because
Okay.
otherwise, yes, because you want it to go in at the end of the cycle. You don't want it to go in when the washing powder goes in.
Thank you. I'll try that.
Fantastic. Well, that was absolutely amazing, Joanna. Thank you so much. I've got a slide here to say thank you with your details on, which I'm actually not showing. Why am I? No, am I hiding that slide? No, right. So I was hiding that slide, so I've released the slide. Just one moment. Have I got control again of this?
Let me check. I haven't done it, so let me see.
And
There,
then,
you're coming.
yeah, brilliant. And then if you wanted to drop your details in the chat as well, Joe, then anyone who's on the call, they can connect with you if they wanted more information, particularly about what you do. And for anyone watching the replay, I've only got Joanna's LinkedIn details here, but I will put a link to her website and other ways that you can get in contact with her. So Joanna, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And if you are interested about finding out about this, please have a chat with me first, because I don't want people going on and just buying stuff and then not knowing what to do with it. So if you do want to find out a little bit more, then please contact me first. Okay.
No problem.
What was the last couple of numbers on her LinkedIn? 44. Okay.
Okay, she'll drop it in the chat for you. All right, so this is why I should have left my presentation up, because I do forget things. I wanted to let you know, if you don't already know, that I do a group coaching and accountability club. I have members of the club on the call this evening, which is great. To come into the club, you do need to have a clarity call with me. And this is really if you are, I spoke to you about making decisions before in my section. If you're feeling not confident, or if you have got a decision that you're wanting to make, but you just actually need a little bit of advice or some guidance on the next best steps to take, rather, then the clarity call will be able to give you some ideas from myself. I describe myself as empathic, which means that I'm actually working with different energy as well. So we will work together as energetic friends, and you will leave that session with an action plan and also a goal setting sheet. So the next call is Thursday, the 7th of April at 8 o'clock. If you want more information, there will be, maybe not in this chat because I'm just not very good with putting things in chats and whatever, but it will certainly be in the follow-up information for the women that are on the call. And if you're listening to the replay, there will be a link underneath the video. All right, so Giselle, are you ready for your second song? And here's a few testimonials while Giselle gets ready.
Thank you.
Are you ready, my dear?
Yeah, give me a moment to just reposition.
Okay. So Giselle's going to give us another song, which is going to be an a cappella song. And take this as your break, because we kind of ran a little bit over. So if you did want a comfort break, you should still be able to hear Giselle. So this will be the break. And then when we come back, we're going to do some recognition, and we're also going to have the raffle. So Giselle, I cannot see you at all now. Oh, there's two.
I could probably do it from here. Hold on.
You have got an echo.
Yeah, I'm just turning down the volume. How is that now? Okay, yeah, that echo, even though I've got it down as far as it'll go, it's still showing through. So I'll mute this and I'll use that.
This is the beauty of having a home studio. I laugh with Mark and I say, just think one day I'm going to have like a really fancy home studio. I'm going to have a cameraman and I'm going to have someone there going, come on, it's time to prep up your makeup. So like I said to you before, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just need to step into action when you're trying to get things done. So Giselle, we have two of Giselle now.
Yeah,
you
we've
seem
got
to be
two,
blinking.
and we're definitely not perfect today.
Is it possible to turn one of the screens off? Because yep. That's it. So that is a good view. That's the view we had last time.
Yeah. Okay, this is
Brilliant.
a little bit nervous, this one. Okay, are we ready? It's a once in a lifetime feeling. Don't wanna let it slip away. When you hear your heart calling, you've got to stand up and take your place. It's the right thing you must do. When standing before you is a love that you always knew. Love that you always knew. Something inside of you can tell you which way to go. If you listen up, then you will know. I can see it. If you listen inside of you, you will know which path to take. If you listen, baby, surely you won't break. You're gonna fly high, higher than the winds go. And you're gonna fly, fly, fly. Oh, I know you know. It's hidden inside. And you know the time has arrived. 'Cause it's time, oh baby, it's time to spread your wings and fly, fly high, flying above the earth, flying home, flying above the wind. There's only one way to get there. You've got to listen deep inside. When you hear love's voice call you, you've got to be ready to jump into flight. And you can fly high, higher and higher until you find your way back home. Just fly high, higher and higher, way up past the sun. 'Cause you know it's time to spread your wings and fly high, high, high. Spread your wings and just fly, 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 fly through the sky. It's time to fly.
Wow, that was amazing.
Thank you.
I really
Thank you.
resonated with the words. Wow.
I
Was that
thought you would.
your song? Was that your
Thank you.
original?
Yeah, they both are.
Oh, I love it even more. Fantastic. Oh, well done, Giselle. That was amazing. Okay, so I've just got to put this back on here, and we're coming in to the last part of tonight's session. I hope that for those of you who are on the call, you have enjoyed your time with us. So I just want to show this as well, because this would normally go on the screen. I am still promoting Any Green Will Do, fantastic products. Again, if you're wanting the more eco-friendly cleaning products, then this is a great brand to check out. So you can check out the link there. But if you have a health and wellbeing business and you're wanting exposure, it's not just here in the health and wellbeing community. I actually do have some fantastic packages which will get your brand in front of women and men who've already raised their hand and said, I'm interested in looking after my health and wellbeing. So you are actually speaking to a targeted audience. So if this is something you want more information on, please do get in contact with me. And that email address isn't even right. It's not contact, it's connect. I will have to change that slide. All right, so thank you so much, Giselle. So the final section is about how if you change your mind, you can change your life. And for those of you who don't know me, I just want to give you a really quick rundown. I didn't used to eat properly, and I basically was exercising a lot. I had a lot of low energy, even though I was exercising, and it was basically the food that I was eating. And I was introduced to a way of really looking at changing my breakfast first with Herbalife Nutrition, and by making other changes such as drinking water, which is something I never did, and continuing with my exercise, I dropped 2 dress sizes. As I said at the beginning of the program, I had a baby 3 years ago, and I'm still on my journey. But it was really nice on Saturday. I went to a birthday party, and one of the grandmothers who met me when her granddaughter was first born was like, oh, you've really slimmed down. And I was like, have I? And she was like, yes, you have. But remember, you're not looking at yourself all the time. So, you know, for me, I continue to do what I'm doing. I have lots of energy. I've got a healthy, active lifestyle because of my nutrition. But most of all, it's about my mindset as well. Now, when it comes to mindset, I would love for you to raise your virtual applause, because it is now time for you to support me in showing recognition to some wonderful women. I don't know that we don't have Karina with us. She was sending messages in the group. I don't think anyone was checking about the link to the call. So we haven't got Karina with us, unfortunately, now, but we do have 3 of the women on the call that I want to give recognition to. So this recognition, I wrote it down. Oh, yes. So the first recognition that I want to give is for a wonderful woman. You've met her already, and she stepped out of her comfort zone big time. Okay, so Giselle Coville, Coville, I can say your name wrong, Coville.
It rhymes, it's Giselle Coville.
Yeah, Giselle Coville. I just want to give you recognition because since we've met, I can't remember the precise time that you came into the happiness group, but I know that one of the things you wanted to do was to reconnect with your voice and to get out and share your gift and talent. And you've certainly done that this evening. So this is my way of showing recognition to you. So I will get this over to you later. But this was for stepping out of your comfort zone during January and March. So well done. All right, so the next recognition that I have, I can't remember which order it goes in. So there's 2 of them and they're both here. And, you know, these women, you heard Cleo give a testimonial before about how she's been working with Joe. And by buddying up, even a simple thing like, have you drank enough water today, can be such an impactful conversation to have, particularly when you're trying to stay focused with your own hydration. So I have recognition here for Joanna Laverick. We've not heard from you this evening, my darling, but this is to recognise that you are working on your healthy, active living. You've been doing it for more than January to March, but this was just this quarter. So congratulations, my darling, for everything that you've been doing. And also recognition to Cleo. What Cleo didn't tell you as well is that when she did something with in the group that we've started called 10-day marathon, she was actually the group leader about 2 or 3 times, and she won the first lap. So Cleo has done fantastic as well. So congratulations, Cleo, for your healthy, active living. And the final congratulations, she's not on the call, bless her, and she did try to get here, so she may just be relaxing. But here it goes, it's for Karina Rogers, and this recognition is for career development. Karina has just stepped into a new career. She's now working as an A&E nurse, which is fantastic. She's really come out of her comfort zone, switched career, done retraining on top of her work and all sorts. She's absolutely incredible. She's a powerhouse in our group coaching calls as well. And I know that Giselle and Joe will definitely agree with me on that. So I just wanted to showcase Karina on her achievement as well. So well done to all of you. Oh, so what we're going to do, if there's enough time, we are running a little bit over, but I would love for you to, if you're okay to stay, I do have some questions set up so that you can spend some time with each other. But what I'm going to do, actually, I'm just going to jump over to the raffle, just in case any of you wanted to go, because you do need to be on the line for the raffle. Okay. So the raffle, the prizes, of which there are 3. This wonderful collage that you can see, you might be thinking, what on earth's going off there? Well, the first prize is for you to have a half-day intensive self-love intensive day with me, and there's a set agenda and we do lots of different things, but this was June, in the month of March. Unfortunately, June wasn't able to be with us on the call this evening, but as you can see, we weren't actually in the same location, but we shared our meals, we had a lovely chat, we had a walk in our own areas, then I did some heart-centered coaching with June, and yeah, it was just a beautiful day. So if June was here to actually express the impact that that day had for her, she would tell you herself. So that's the top prize. Joanna, you've also put in a prize. Do you just want to tell our lovely listeners what's available from your
well, they've disappeared, but yes. So we have got what they're called iPads. So they're made of the same material as this. I don't know if you can see that. So it's made, they're little circular ones, so probably about the size of normal cotton pads. And these, you can use a set of 2 of these. And just with cold water, you can take all your makeup off, from mascara, waterproof mascara, your eyebrow pencil, everything. I'll take it all off. And then you pop a little bit of soap on it, and then you foam it through with hot water. So cold water locks everything in, hugs it in, and then you're going to wash it with soap and hot water to open it and let it go. And so you've got a set of those. That's going to be for whoever wins that raffle. Fantastic. And you can use them to clean like baby skin or kids' skin and stuff as well. They're just great for anything body-wise.
Fantastic. And the third prize is the Herbalife skincare kit as well. So let's get on with it. So we'll start with the third. Oh, someone's popped out. I'm all about energy. So whoever has popped out, you have just won the third prize. Let's have a look who it is. It's Jojo.
Yay. Oh my god.
Last month as well, didn't you, darling? What did you win
I'm on
month?
a lucky winning streak or something, yeah.
What did you win last month?
I won it was Lonit, the
oh yeah, you won the second prize.
No, that was really beautiful, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well this tonight you're still a winner, and you will be getting that skincare kit. So I'll be making my order tomorrow, so that will be next week, my dear. All right, so the second prize to win the fantastic eye makeup removal pads with Joe is going to the lovely Jackie. She's probably got a pair. She got some already from you, Jo.
I can swap them for lens cloths for your glasses if you want, Jackie.
Have you got some of these already, Jackie?
No, I haven't.
We haven't got them yet. Was I not? Oh, we'll have a conversation about that.
We did. We started to talk about it last week. Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. They are for you. Well done, my dear. Okay, so let's see who will be spending half a day with me, and I will take you through a wonderful, magical experience. Okay. Now this is interesting. Denise, it's you.
You know what? I was actually saying I never win to myself. And then I was like, I bet I win this one though.
Okay, so the reason why I'm laughing my head off is because Denise is actually my coach for heart-centered coaching.
Well, maybe we could make a trip of it.
We can do what?
We can make a trip, actually do a face-to-face. We haven't met each other properly.
Oh, that would be marvellous. Brilliant. It's a date. It's a date.
Okay.
Oh, in fact, the other things that we spoke about this morning, we could just do it all in one session.
Yes, let's do that.
We're doing it. All right, so big things coming up over there. So congratulations to all of our winners. All right, so I'm going to do the networking at the end, okay? So for those of you that are wanting to stay, networking is still on the cards, but I want you to just put some dates in your diary. So you heard Cleo talk about the 10-day marathon, and this little picture's a bit small, but basically if you want support with your healthy eating, a 10-day marathon helps you to focus in for 10 days, okay? So it's low cost, it's fun, you'll get nutritional education, and you'll get community support. If this is something you're interested in finding out about, please check in with me. We do start on Monday, the 4th of April, so that's next Monday. Now, don't worry if you're listening to the replay and you're like, oh, I've heard this on the, I don't know, the 7th of April. We actually take a 3-day break and then we start again. So this is an ongoing marathon, so you can always join in on the next lap. And finally, another date for your diary. Next Thursday, inside the Facebook community, I am going to be doing a live experience. It's all about giving gratitude and love. Now, there may be some of you on the call that are very familiar with doing your gratitude routine. Now, this event probably isn't for you, but if you know somebody who you're thinking, actually, I feel that they could get a boost in their confidence, in their self-esteem, then please do invite them onto this Facebook Live, because it would definitely help with mental well-being as well. So there's lots of things coming up next week. And this is so interesting. So, as you know, if you're a regular here, I always announce the guest speaker at the end of the call. Well, guess who the guest speaker is next month? It's me. Is it possible to be the guest speaker at your own event? I don't know. But it is a masterclass evening, and I will be giving you a talk on how you can supercharge your super you. And we have the lovely Denise Mustard, who is my coach. She will be hosting the session, so we'll be doing a double act. So that's why we had a giggle when Denise has won that half-day intensive, because it means we can spend some time planning out the event as well. So please do make sure you're back here on the call with us. That's 28th of April at 7:30. It's one not to miss. And if you're not already connected with me, that is the correct email address for me. So my email address is connect@Vanessa-Mary.com. Please join the Facebook community. It's called the Health and Wellbeing Café community. You'll receive a daily live post from me every morning where I come on and I sparkle radiant energy into your life to hopefully give you a boost first thing in the morning. So I'm having a lot of fun with those lives and getting some good feedback. So I hope those who've been viewing do value the content that's been shared there. So that is it. I'm just reordering things slightly because of the time. So please do stay if you can. We will be doing the the networking and the emotional fitness. But just because we ran over slightly, I didn't want to break because we don't record that. So for anyone listening to the recording, that's the end of the recording. So I just want to thank our guest contributors. We've had Giselle with her beautiful singing. We've had Joanna Hart, who's educated us so much on things that we should be swapping out of our household and putting some good things in there. So thank you so much for being on the call. I hope that it's been of value to you, and we will see you on the next event. Thank you very much.